Hey, my name is Brooks Libran, and I'm talking to Moishi about server sent events. He's going to walk me through a cool example that he built. But before we get started, I just wanted to ask a little bit about you, Moishi. Where do you work? How did you get into Remix? Just those kind of fun questions.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. Very excited to be here. Looking forward to share something quite exciting. So your first question was, who am I, right? My name is Moishi, obviously. I'm a full stack developer at a logistics startup called Caply based in Sweden. And we extensively use Remix at the workplace every single day. And being a full stack developer obviously means I get to narrate everything that goes on with features, and being able to do that in Remix is absolutely huge.
Sweet, that's awesome. How long have you been using Remix?
Oh, I've been using it probably for just over 2 years now, and I absolutely love the experience. It's been awesome. Just being able to do things with the full stack mentality, being able to learn the web fundamentals. That's been huge for me. I mean, we're going to see that now when I get to show you what we're working on. But definitely web fundamentals using the platform. These are the Remix basics, and I really appreciate that, and I'm loving it. Feel like every time you learn something, it's transferable knowledge. So you get to use it. There's other places in the workplace, any future jobs you do, any other things you might work on. And it's also amazing for just like small projects like this one.
Yeah, I agree. I love just I feel like Remix is incredibly scalable, which I love. It's really great for like applications, very interactive, all that kind of stuff. But like it's super easy
Sure.
just to use for your throwaway POC as well. So yeah, I
It's
definitely love
sure.
that. And like I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about server sent events, but yeah, I'm curious. I This is not a topic I honestly know a ton about. So what got you interested in this topic? Why have you been exploring it, and why do you want to talk about it today?
Sure. I think that live data is definitely the magic part of the web, right? So we've got like the actions down, like getting data and creating data on the server and getting it back. But this notion of like the interactivity and the connectivity and getting stuff fresh and live, I think that's something that hasn't been properly explored yet. And I think partly because it hasn't been made accessible to everyone, but hopefully we're going to be able to show that that's not the case now. Service and events are incredible. Their functionalities are great, super easy to implement, especially in Remix. And so I just think this is a little bit of the magic land that everyone tries to get a part of. Doesn't really know how or where to get started, really.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's great. Definitely seems like it's a buzzword these days. So I'm sure lots of people are interested
Oh,
in getting started.
yes.
So
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
All right. Well, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Maybe we could start off by going through a
Sure.
walkthrough of the scaffolding project that I sent over.
Sure.
So you can run there.
Yeah, let me do that.
Nice.
All right. So on the left hand side, we got looks like
And this
a
is using
grocery
Remix
to us.
V2, by the way.
Oh, okay, good. That's great. Yeah.
Nice, obviously. So,
Not using the nightly build, not staying on the
no,
bleeding
no,
edge.
yeah.
All right, that's fine.
I will move to V if I have to. I will.
Okay, all right, good to know.
So obviously we've got the project on the left. I am a full stack developer, so my design decisions have been made very clear here. And you can see this is a fully working to do app. Everything's functional. I've done all the hard work for you. So
Oh,
let's
perfect.
go ahead and change it. There's a typo, looks like in the third to do.
Okay,
You can change that to ice cream,
cool.
absolutely standard. And you could just click
Ah,
it.
nice. Okay,
And
cool. Yeah.
obviously changes are persisted, right? When you refresh the page,
Yep.
persisted. And you can add new to dos,
All right.
right? So you can type it
Record
in.
video.
Let's do it.
Oh
Click
wait, that's not
away.
a
And
grocery.
then,
Oh well.
no, definitely not.
Yeah, we'll switch that here.
And what you're eating. No
Yeah.
cameras here. Same thing there. We've got different like lists that you have as well. So this is a pretty standard app, right? But things become very clear where the improvements could be made. How about you open another window um, with the same application, and let's put them side by side. You can just grab it
Sure.
out and just split it. Now, when you make changes on the left-hand side, let's go to the same to-do list. So let's put the right-hand side on the wish list, and let's make some changes, right? So you're adding something on your wish list.
Okay.
Yes. Yes,
I think I
please.
actually updated it.
Once you start upgrading your gear, you can't stop. And obviously, nothing's happening on the right hand side, right? Because we haven't let the client know to refresh its data. It's got stale data, but it doesn't know. This is where you feel like, I just want that magic. I want things to persist across. I want the freshest data. This is a standard problem. So when you refresh the page on the right hand side, that's when it's going to show up, right? Because now we're getting it
Right.
again from the server, and the server's going to populate that in the client. So let's see if we can solve this with server send events. Now,
Cool.
I'm just going to give a very brief overview. Have you heard of server send events? Have you used them before?
I haven't used them. I definitely have heard them. I know there was a good talk by a good talk at RemixConf of 2023 on them, but it's very high level, just kind of explaining what they are. I didn't really get super into the implementation. I've never really done it myself.
Awesome. Are you speaking about Alex Anderson's talk?
That's the one. Yes.
Okay. So this is heavily inspired by his talk.
Cool.
That things have changed over time, and hopefully this is going to be functional, and we can. I think it's a great abstraction on top of what he's figured out. Highly recommend watching his video. This has definitely what inspired me to make this, and I think we're going to have a really cool pattern that hopefully you can be proud of as well.
Cool.
So just to quickly explain what server send events are, right? So we have this notion of remix. Maybe it would help if you actually open up the page we're looking at now in the code. So you can go to the structures in the app, and then it's going to be the to-do list leg, and then and then the index. Is this it?
Oh, you want to
So
be
this is the parent file.
here?
I'm still using the root v1 convention.
That's okay.
Shoot me, it is what it is.
Honestly,
I'm a
that's
sucker
kind of
for
what I use
folders.
most of the time.
Okay, brilliant. So let's just walk through, right? Your standard remix conventions. You need to get data from the server. How do you do that? You do that with your loader. So let's go look at the loader, and we can talk through this, right? What are we doing? We're getting all the to-do lists where that is the same slug as the list we're on, right? Look at the URL on the left-hand side. We're on /to-dos /wish list. And we're getting that slug, and we're using that to fetch the data from a database and send it down to the component,
Cool.
right? You don't need to worry about fetch hell, use effect, none of that. I rarely have use effects or any kind of state in my remix applications anyways, just as an aside. Don't know if you feel the same way about that.
Yeah. Usually it's like fixing focus state is the main reason I need a use effect, not really for data fetching anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, it's great. And then obviously when you make changes in the app, you need to send them to the server. So that happens in the actions, right? So you have to, just like you export a loader to load the data, whenever you want to complete something, if you scroll up a bit, you'll get to the action right there. Boom. So you can see we're getting the ID of the to-do list being changed. We're getting whether it's completed or not. We're getting the title. And then this action thing just tells me, okay, are we deleting? Are we creating? Are we updating? And then I can handle that, and everything works on the data side. And this is just a bunch of validation, creating, checking the different actions. Perfect. So this is pretty standard, right?
Yeah.
So the way I like to think of remix, as in like the loading and the action paradigms, is that there's data you want to get, and then there's also data that you want to give, right? In terms of when I want to get data, that's usually the loader, right? When I want to send data, that's in my action. But what if I want to receive data and then trigger something to actually tell the server, hey, your data is old, you need to refresh. So that's where server send events come in, okay? So there's three parts to this, okay? There's the event source, which is where you have this event stream, and it's shooting out these messages, okay, out into the wild. Then in the client, you're listening to these. It's basically a pub sub. You're listening to these messages, and what you do is you connect to that event stream. Now, once you're connected, any messages that get sent across that, you now have access to in the client. Okay? And deciding what these messages are and how they're sent, that's what the event emitter is for. So you have an event source, then you're going to use the event source to actually get the data in the client, and then you're going to have an event emitter to send those events across. Now, this might sound a bit confusing, but when we get down to it, we'll see it's all basic web fundamentals, and it's super straightforward.
Cool.
So maybe let's create the event stream first, okay?
Sure.
So if you open up the project directory, the files, and let's do this inside the same folder you were just in. So if you open up to-dos again, if you make a new file alongside that index, so inside this slide, a bit lower, exactly. Let's call that stream. So stream.tsx. And this is going to be our event stream, right?
Yeah.
So there's lots of different helpers that we can use, and all of this obviously can be done natively, but there's an amazing package by Sergio, I'm sure you've heard of, called Remix Utils, which is amazing, right?
Yes.
So for now, let's just export a loader. And so instead of doing it that way, I find it easier to get IntelliSense, because he's using ES multi-package. So the easiest way to get the place where it's imported from is usually IntelliSense. So it's a loader. Why is it a loader? Because event streams are GET requests. They're not POST requests. And this is all written down in MDN, in the docs. Nothing I'm telling you is novel or any kind of magic stuff, right? Yeah, we can take a look at this right now.
Perfect. Yeah. I always
This is like,
love having this up just to make sure like I'm yeah, really understanding and doing things the way they recommend.
mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the standard stuff.
That's awesome.
So
I'm
using
gonna
service
my
and events, maybe let's take a
very
look at
cool.
that.
Well, I don't want any spoilers, so I'll close that. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so you've got this loader. Now let's return an event stream. So event stream,
Is
and
it
that one right
this
there.
one? Perfect.
That's
Okay.
the one.
Cool.
Exactly. Now, if you just open your parentheses and let's take a look at the helper that popped up. Okay,
Okay.
so it takes in a signal, which is an abort signal. So we already know we're going to get that from the request, right?
Cool.
And then it's got some kind of callback function. So let's first get the request, and we can get that in the loader, right?
Yeah.
Nice. You've clearly done this before.
Oh yeah, this
Brooks,
part I'm
you're on
really
it.
used to. So, and is
So,
it just
and then
this
it's
guy?
request signal, right?
Cool.
Nice. And then let's do a callback function. Nice. And if you actually just start typing in the parentheses, let's see what it gives us. So start typing. Are you going to get the pop-up today? What is that? So you can see it's a
Send
send
function.
function.
Okay.
So let's just change that to send, right?
Cool. Okay.
Now, the point is that whenever we call this send function, that's going to send data down to the client. So let's just pretend that every 2 seconds we want to send out a message. Okay. So that's going to be exactly
Like that, or do you want to do?
Exactly.
Would it be an interval? I guess.
so interval, right?
Okay.
With loop across it, right? Every 2 seconds. And then let's do a callback function here as well,
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Inside the seven. Nice. Now let's just send the current time. So if you send, and I believe it actually takes in like an object,
Oh, okay.
and then inside the object you need a data key. So if you do IntelliSense, it should just pop up. There you
Okay.
go.
And so now I
And let's
can
do date dot now, and then let's do that. It's got to be a string. You always need to send a string across, or an object.
So why
but
doesn't it?
string.
Yeah. Why can't it accept a number?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think because everything gets serialized, you've got to make sure that you're sending strings across to the client so that this is the same shape that it takes and this is what it's expecting.
Okay.
And you can send objects and different kinds of data, but
Okay.
for now, let's do super native implementation. And we're actually still getting a type error. So if you
Yeah.
hover over that, it's going to tell us that you need to send back a cleanup function, right?
Okay.
So type void is not assignable to type cleanup function. So let's return and let's cancel the interval, really. So
okay. Yeah.
let's
So,
return a function that clears that interval. Exactly.
we should do ID. Okay. And then sometimes forget
And then
this. What is it like? Clear intervals?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, you are
Cool.
on it today. I love that. Awesome. Okay.
Sweet.
Now, the best part about this, Remix, web fundamentals.
Yeah.
When we added this file, what did we do? We created a new route in our project,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So
yes,
now
yes.
let's go back into the app and let's do, at the end of the route slash wish list, let's also do slash stream at the end,
Okay.
right? Because that's where we hastened it. Now
Right,
wait
right, right.
2 seconds. And then our messages are being sent in every 2 seconds.
Cool.
And this is really cool because we're basically streaming data from the server to a client, right?
That's awesome.
Now, we
yeah.
aren't actually using this data in any way, but we are shooting off those messages and we're receiving them.
Dang.
And I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
So now that we're
that's
getting
awesome. That is
this,
super easy.
that's cool. No, it's so easy. So now that we're sending off this data, maybe let's try and get it inside our actual route. So if you
Sure.
go back to the wish list route,
Okay.
yes, now
and then
let's
back
go into that file.
This one.
Yeah, that's the one. And let's go down to the component that we're actually using. And remember, the client is hooking into this,
Okay.
right? So it's called use event source. So let's use event source. And then if you open parentheses, you can see it's taking the URL. So we want to take the current URL and then basically append slash stream, right? So Remix has a good way of doing that. I don't know if you know about this with use resolve path. So
Cool.
use resolve path, and you could do, let's call that path because it turns the path, right?
That
And
makes
let's do use resolve path, and then it's /stream inside use resolve path.
Oh wait. Oh, this is. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so
Right?
this gives you
It gives you a
the
relative path.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So this is already
Exactly.
the path.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And then it's
Flat around
path.path
skills.
name because you get the whole path object.
Nice. Oh.
Right?
Oh. Okay.
So-
Path name. That makes sense. Man.
Exactly.
So if you
And
really want to reduce
so-
your lines of code, you get kind of crazy and go in here.
Go on, show me.
No, I'm just kidding. People get it. People get a little freaked out when you do the nested hooks. So we'll just keep it simple.
I saw a tweet. I don't know if it's actually true. But someone told me that you can use hooks inside hooks.
Oh, absolutely.
So long as they're not dependent on each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like, a custom hook, right? So you got like, use something. Technically, this is a hook.
Yeah.
Using a hook or whatever. So you can just pass them into each other because it's just a function at the end of the day. But it does kind of break some brains sometimes. So hook. We're not going to do that.
Well, no.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
Ruin this demo for that.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, this is super
awesome. So let's see what happens now. Okay. So you've saved it. Let's refresh the page, and now let's look at the network tab, and hopefully, we'll see something on. See? You want to refresh again?
Oh, I'm on CSS. That was the problem. All right. So
and now, do you see that thing at the bottom stream? Yeah. And now click of in stream. And check that out. We are getting these messages every 2 seconds. So we're shooting up the messages. Nice. We're using this hook from Remix Utils, right? Super helpful hook to actually get that data.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
The problem is we don't want to send these events every 2 seconds, right? When do we want to send them? We want to send them whenever something changes in our application. Okay. Now, this is kind of like the PubSub, right? You've got the broadcast from the server, and all the clients that are listening to that will get those changes. That's sort of the glue. That's what's connecting all of our clients together to re-trigger these changes.
Okay.
Any questions so far? We all good?
No, yeah, I think, well, actually, my only question was like, okay, I mean, this is cool. It's here, it's streaming, but what if I want to display this? Do I get like something back from this that I can use or what?
I mean, yeah, you can check out. So I think it just returns, it's just data. Let's call it data, and you can just slap it.
So I should be able to just do like P and then data dot. What do we call it?
Yeah, probably JSON stringify.
Okay. What
I would do. Just stringify the whole object. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I get what you're saying.
Right.
Oh, that's why it's not
and
working.
You want parentheses there. Yeah.
All right. So if I give that a refresh.
Let's see what we get.
Okay, so it's. Okay, cool. No. Now it starts coming. So it's null initially, and then now it starts coming as the actual data.
Right. So cool. Right. Exactly. And we're getting the latest data, right? It's not like a history of all the data.
Yes.
We're just getting the latest one, which is also interesting and worth noting.
Yeah. I guess if we did want a history, we have to probably set something up ourselves to kind of keep track of what. Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
Now that we understand what's coming, let's set this up that actually triggers the changes when we make our change. So we need an event emitter, right? Okay. That's the third piece of this puzzle. We've got the server sending it, we've got the client hooking into it. Now we need the actual event emitter. So let's make a new file in our utils folder, and let's call it emitter.server, because we only ever want to do this in the server, right?
Okay.
Remember, the server-send events, not client-send events.
Makes sense.
Pretty standard, right? So you can just get the actual emitter, and it's import event emitter from events. And this is a node event emitter, exactly just like that, from events.
Just like that?
And you're going to have to destructure it as well. Nice. And now you can export const emitter, and then let's say return, and that's a new event emitter.
Just like that?
Right.
Or with a new.
With a new, exactly. But there's a little catch to this.
Okay.
There's a caveat, because obviously this is server side, and when we make changes to our dev code, this actually won't be persisted across changes, right? So we want to keep that there. And Ken has a very, Ken C. Dodds, creator of Epic Web Dev, just released his workshop, I believe, which looks quite cool.
Yeah.
And this is like remix, like 101 right here. He has a really helpful util called Remember. So if you want to wrap that, we can check it out. Remember.
Is it this thing or no?
No, that's not it. If you go to Epic Web, let's go to the Epic Web just repo.
Oh, the repo.
Yes, that's fine. And there should be something called Remember. Let's see. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Pretty small,
singleton implementation. That makes sense. I know what you're talking about.
There you go. It's a singleton.
That's awesome.
Now that's already installed. So the way to use that, let's take a look at his docs.
Oh, sure. Sorry. Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
cool. So you just
No, it's
restructure it,
okay.
remember?
Exactly.
This is cool.
And then you wrap it, and then this just keeps it as a reference, and then things don't get weird, right? And it doesn't really matter what you name it; it
Okay.
just needs to be anything.
This is cool.
Perfect.
I do want to say, okay, little bit of spoiler, but I don't know if this will be out by the time we're there. With the Veep plugin that's being worked on, this problem should go away, I think, which is really nice for dev. You have
Nice.
these things kind of in memory working a little better, just the way that the server modules work. That's my understanding. So don't hold me to it too
That's
much, but
cool.
I'm really
That's
hopeful that
cool.
we don't need this pattern in the future. But this is awesome that this exists and that Kent has just kind of wrapped it up in a really simple a simple util.
Mhm.
So sweet.
I mean, I do that as well for the database as well, right? Because you
Yes.
need to have the same reference with Prisma. You can take a look at that as well.
Yeah.
It's in the
Otherwise,
same.
because it's like you'll just open up all these. Is
It's
it?
DB. It's DB, I think.
Yeah, you'll just open up
Yeah,
way too
there
many
you go.
connections, right? Otherwise, so okay,
Exactly.
cool, nice.
It's
And
the
so
same
this
thing.
this
So
is just like
really
a key.
easy.
You never actually use this, or how? Okay,
Completely irrelevant.
cool, cool,
Exactly.
sweet. Okay,
Nice. So we've got our event emitter, and it should be as easy as that. Now let's go into our event stream, and we want to listen for these changes. So for now, inside the event stream, let's comment out everything from line 6 till the end, right?
okay.
Nice. And the last brackets as well on line 19, I think, as well.
Oh,
That's just going to be
yeah, I
annoying.
think you're right.
Nice. Okay. So now we actually want to listen to our emitter. So let's just bring in the emitter. If you type in emitter to import it and do period. Now you can see that you can actually add listeners. So let's add a listener. And this actually takes an event name. So
Okay.
for now, let's call this to do, right? Because we want to trigger and update our to dos. And then if you do a comma, and that's going to be some kind of function that activates whenever it gets that thing to happen. So let's just call this function handle. And there's a reason why I'm extracting it, because remember,
Oh,
so you
I see
probably
what you're
just
saying.
want
You
to,
want it up here, is what you're saying.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. And the reason is, right, because we need to return the teardown function, right?
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
Nice. So, and let's do the same thing now. So whenever the handle function is called, let's send the current date. So you can just send, and then same thing like we did before. Let's just send
Right.
the current time.
So okay, cool.
Exactly.
Okay.
Awesome. And now we need to return the wrapper, and then it's emitter
Okay,
dot
right.
remove listener.
Okay, that
Right.
makes sense. Cool. Just like normal
Because
event listener kind of stuff.
exactly.
Perfect. Okay.
Super simple stuff.
I think
Nice.
that we did need this line. Okay, cool. Okay.
Cool. Now we're actually sending it.
Okay.
That we're actually listening to the stream, but we need to tell the emitter that changes have happened,
Mm.
and that happens in our action. So let's quickly do that in our action. All right, we want it to trigger whenever something changes. We want to tell the emitter something's changed.
Okay.
So after we've handled that, we can literally call emitter, and we can emit.
Mm.
And then the same name that we used before was to do,
Is it
right?
to do?
Is that
Okay.
correct?
I think that's right. Not that one. That one.
Is that what we used?
Yep. Cool.
Nice.
Okay. Cool.
Right? So we're listening to the same thing. We're sending to this event name. The event name is going to send it back, and we should be listening to that in our client. So now let's try this again. Let's open up the DevTools.
All
Let's
right.
refresh just to make sure we got it.
Yep. So we got the stream.
Open up the stream, and now when we make changes on the left-hand side, let's see. Hopefully it works.
Oh, nice. Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Dang, that's super
and
cool.
because we did it after our changes,
Yes.
anything we do, if you toggle, if you delete, all of the CRUD functionality should
Oh,
trigger an
awesome.
individual
Yeah.
change.
Very cool.
You see that?
Yes, that's awesome.
Awesome. So now the last piece of this puzzle is basically telling all the other clients, hey, you've got stale data. It's time to revalidate.
Yeah.
Now, when I say that word, that makes you think of using a revalidator, right?
Yep.
So let's get the data. Let's save the event source data as right, like we did
guess.
before. And we know that just returned the latest thing, right?
Right.
Now let's get a revalidator with this really handy hook. And what this does is it tells everything on the remix page to revalidate all your loaders, get the freshest data, and put that in. Okay, so that returns a revalidator function. Nice. Now we can actually have an effect, a use effect that listens to whenever time this data changes, and it's like, okay, let's revalidate the page.
I thought you said we weren't going to use. No, I'm just kidding.
And we're in client land now. I can't promise you anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So dot revalidate.
Okay, and then so
revalidator, and then it's dot revalidate.
Oh, thanks.
You could destructure it, but that's fine as well.
Now,
it's angry that we're not putting the revalidator in the dependencies because we are listening to it, right?
True.
But I wouldn't. You're actually not supposed to add it here.
Really?
And the reason is because otherwise, think about it. The data changes, so we revalidate the page, but then we're going to change the data, and it's going to revalidate the page and go into this infinite loop. So for now, we know better than React, and we're just going to revalidate the page when the data changes.
Cool.
Awesome. Now, let's say that. Yeah, listen to the linter. Okay. We do. I said so.
All right, cool.
Nice. Save that one. Let's try again. I think that's everything we should need. So let's check this out.
All right. So you're saying,
refresh the page.
Well, do you want me to open up another one on the side, or
let's do it?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, open up another one.
All right. Cool. So just simply, if I do that, oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so seamless.
Amazing. And you're getting the changes across all the clients.
Yes.
So whoever's listening to this will get those changes.
Yeah. Oh man, how crazy can we get?
You can get nuts.
Last
so crazy.
Third. Oh man, I always rate these. Second, third. Didn't give it to me.
Then you need to do the first one as well.
Yeah, I know.
It's better pay off.
First.
Okay.
This is gonna be worth it. If it's not, I'll just.
Nice. I believe you.
Oh my
I
gosh,
know.
that's so fun.
Nice. That's cool, right? And this works with everything. If you delete one or add one.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Everything works.
Cool.
And that is just amazing. Now, this is great, and I've already blown your mind. I can tell you that much. But we can do better. We can do better. But I'm going to show you exactly why we can do better. Let's open just another tab and have them side by side.
Okay.
And let's open the dev tools in both of them. So let's go back to the same page. And you've done perfectly. So you're actually on a different to-do list. Do you notice that? On the left-hand side, you're on the wish list.
Okay, cool.
On the right-hand side, you're on the groceries. Now, when you make changes on the wish list, notice what happens on the right-hand side.
Okay, so
let's toggle something in the wish list, right? And those are happening now as well on slugs that we didn't ask. We didn't try to change this page. We only tried to change the wish list. So what we can do now is we can, instead of emitting to the to-do, we can emit to something that's unique to each of these pages, which is their slug.
Okay.
So we can have our own stream for each slug. So let's check that out. So let's go to the event stream.
This one?
And instead of to-do, let's actually do it to the list slug.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
You can, so it's going to be params. I would do better. I would just say params. You don't even need to do. It just needs to be unique. So what we can do is we can get the params from the args.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So
you don't need none of that. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And now you can do params, dot, and then it's list slug. And again, we know better.
Yeah, wait, hold on, sorry. Where is why? Oh, because that's just the name of the file. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Right?
Cool. So we can say.
I would shebang it. I wouldn't bother with TS expector.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
You're introducing other issues, right?
Yeah. Is it? I always forget the format.
It's at the end.
Oh, it's at the end.
All the way at the end, the last thing.
Right. Okay. So that's just saying.
And let's remove that one as well. Right. Let's copy that over to the remove list now, because we need to remove whether this is linked to this slug specifically. And again, this could be anything. It could be completely arbitrary. It just needs to be something that's unique
that makes sense.
to the listeners that we have. Something that's going to be shared between them, right?
Cool.
And now when we go back to the index file, and we need to actually emit to that slug now, because remember, we're emitting the actual action. If you scroll up in the action.
Okay. And the action.
You see how we're emitting to the to-do?
Yep.
we now need to emit to whoever's listening on this log.
Is it list slug, right? You said. So that's
Nice.
all we have to do. Okay,
Awesome.
that is a lot easier. That
Mhm.
makes sense. Cool.
That's it. See?
Okay, and so then so I'm just making sure I
That's it.
understand the mental model. So when I'm
Go
on
for it.
like wish list or like on grocery, and I click an action, that goes to the action. It does all the normal stuff we had. Then we get to the emitter,
Mhm.
and then it says emit and emit specifically to this list lug, which is going to be wish list. So anything else listening to, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So then the emitter now knows down
Again,
here. Okay.
yeah,
Oof,
because
yeah,
we're
that is
listening
big
to the
pickup.
same path
Yeah.
slash stream, and in that slash stream, because we're in the same route, we can actually access the params as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just open the folder structure on the side; it might be a bit clearer.
For sure. Yeah.
Um, right? So you can see streamers in the same path nested under this log, and that was
Mm-hmm.
intentional, so that we have access to this log there, right? So we're basically saying, listen to
That
this
makes
log
sense.
in this stream.
Cool.
And now, hopefully, if you open, let's try again, and let's make sure that this is still the same.
Okay, so I'm on wish list and
So,
grocery,
mhm,
and so if
nice.
I let me just clear this really quick. So if I
Yeah.
change this, oh, the stream is not in a state that permits in queue.
Okay, let's maybe refresh the page.
Sure,
Could just be a server reset kind of issue.
that makes sense. All right, let's try it one more time. Do I need to reset
Maybe
my
you can
dev
restart the
server?
dev server.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Another thing that hopefully will be fixed relatively soon. We'll see. All right.
nice.
All right, so let's get that. Okay, so that's running again. So refresh this,
Okay,
refresh this. Okay, so I'm gonna clear this, and then if
should
I
be okay.
change this, okay, so nothing
Okay,
happened, which is good. But then if I go over to wish list and clear all this, and then reselect that, then we do get the updates. Perfect, that's nice.
exactly,
Okay, so we're not
exactly.
getting updates firing all the time for
Yes.
irrelevant information. Okay.
And I think that this is quite an important distinction as well, because let's visualize an app. So, for example, in my company, I developed something for them, which is like a notification bar, and you only want to notify the actual user who's logged in. So, because of this abstraction, you only ever ask the correct user who's logged in, who has access to that specific bar, to actually revalidate their data. Right? And if you go back to the code again, and let's just check out the stream file. There's something really cool about the way we're doing it like this, because before we actually return the event stream, we can actually, because it's a route, we can do all of our checks. We can check that the user's logged in through the cookies. We can check that there's some kind of secret being passed around. We can check that a request has certain credentials. We have all of these kinds of, yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
exactly.
Cool.
And you can do that before you return the stream.
Oh,
Yeah,
true,
exactly.
true. Yeah,
That's the
even
whole
better.
point.
Yeah, you don't want to do it inside the stream. That makes sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
So before you can even access this, right, you could do that. And that protects the route really nicely.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's important to note that this abstraction is that we're basically telling all the revalidators to revalidate. You could take it the extra mile and actually send the data that's been updated to the client and keep track of all the changes there, right? We're just sending the current data and saying, remix, you revalidate.
Got
But
it.
I think the revalidating is quite remix-esque, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
the only person who really knows who's in charge is the server. They're the only ones with the freshest data. So instead of us trying to keep track of two states of data in the server and in the client, just being able to revalidate makes a lot more sense here.
Makes sense. Yeah, I guess the only downside potentially could be, and this like you said, this is kind of part and parcel for how Remix sort of works. But the downside could be that okay, every time you get a new event, you are refetching all of the old data. But I guess typically the solution there is like, yeah, make sure that you're, try and have a good fast database, try and like handle caching well on the server, all that kind of stuff. Because yeah, you can try and handle that stuff on the client depending on your use case, but also sometimes that just creates a lot more, just a lot more invalidation issues. I've certainly run into that. So cool.
100%.
That's helpful to understand
I think
that distinction.
Yeah, that's an important one for sure. I think our next step is let's try and abstract this and make some kind of a library out of this. Let's get a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is we can stay in this file for now. Let's stay in the stream file.
Cool.
And let's make a function called create event stream. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to yoink all of that code from line 10, where we return the event stream and paste it in there.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, what do we need? We need the request. So let's take that as a function as part of the parameters. And that's I would just do it as the first. I wouldn't
You don't
destructure
want
it
to
perfectly, but
destructure it? Okay, that's
it's
fine.
yeah, but it's just easier that way, I think. And that's just going to be a native request, right? We can type that as a regular request, right?
Yeah, I always like
Nice.
when we're
And then the second one,
using the web fundamentals
yeah, I
of the
love
web
it.
API. It's
This is
nice
it.
and cool.
This is the basics of the web APIs.
Yep.
And the second one, as you can tell, what's missing from the squiggly lines is the actual event name. So let's
Yeah.
pass in the
Okay.
event name as well.
Just like that. Is that good?
And that's just a string, exactly.
Oh yeah, of course. I need to actually type it. Cool.
TypeScript. Gotta love it. And now we can just change that out.
Cool. So
Awesome.
now,
And now in the loader,
yeah.
you got this. You got this.
I got this.
Yes.
Oh, I saved both of them. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it.
You got it. And then we have to return that as well.
Right. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Very cool.
And then everything's good on that front. Now let's refactor out the client side as well. Let's make a cool hook for that.
All right. So down here. What do we
use? I call this use live loader, and this is taken from Alex. It's an awesome naming convention, and I think it's great. And let's yoink everything as well.
I think it's, oh wait, I missed one. There we go.
Perfect.
So all this stuff, cool. Oh, good. We hit that
nice.
ESLint disable. I felt ready about that.
And use live loader, but to be honest, every time we're using the live loader, we're also using the loader data itself. Okay. So why don't we pass in? Why don't we return from the use live loader the actual loader data?
This one, right?
So I would say return use loader data. And so we're returning that hook.
Oh, wait, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And we can type this by passing in generic after use live loader. So between the parentheses, and so it's just T. I would just say T. So make this really abstracted, and then you pass that in as part of this, and everything gets inferred.
Okay.
All you need to know is that wherever you pass in use live loader is going to get use loader data. So
that makes sense.
Now on line 63, we can just hot swap out use loader data to use live loader. Right, and you can see the type that we're passing in now gets passed all the way through to the loader data.
That way, this can be used in other places. That makes sense. Perfect.
Exactly.
Cool.
So let's save this file.
Okay.
And that's it. So what we're going to do is now, how about we make sure everything still works?
Yep.
Haven't broken anything?
Yep.
Awesome. Now, let's pull those out into two separate files in our utils. So
what do you just like use?
Use live loader. Yeah, please. Yeah, that's how I do it as well. Nice.
Cool. Okay. So throw that in here.
Grab that out. Slap it in.
Of course, want to export it. Oop. Didn't mean to be searching there. I got to get all the imports.
Get them all. Get it there.
Oh, man. One more. Oh, no.
Validator.
Oh, no. Another one.
No, now one more.
That's too many. All right, cool. So that's good.
There we go.
And then here we can just import. Perfect.
Yes. Let's do the same for the stream as well.
Sure.
Sorry, I love this is my favorite part, by the way.
Yeah,
just getting rid of all the unused.
I like refactoring stuff like way too much. It's a problem. So okay, cool. So
and then let's do this as well. And let's call this create event stream. But let's do .server because we only ever want to make sure to use this server side, right?
Cool.
Yeah, forgive me for saying dot instead of period. It's a habit. It's not my fault, it's my nation's fault.
No. I think I say dot for the most part too. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you Canadian?
No, I think it's like, I'll say period most of the time, but like I think in you know, like time is money, right? So you have to say everything as quick as possible when you're coding, because otherwise you're wasting your company's money. So
damn right. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
That was a joke in case that was missed on anyone rewatching this. You can waste your company's money. It's fine. I give you permission. It's not too much.
Okay.
All right. So we've
learned a lot today then.
Yes.
So we're good. Now, this is the fun part. What I'm going to do to you now is sort of a part 2 is we're going to do the golden holy grail of all live functionality. We're going to do a live chat.
Ooh,
so if you change the path from /todos to /wishlist to just /chat, I've scaffolded another app here where you've got just some static data for now. And nothing works. I thought it would be fun if we actually code this in stack. So the action has been implemented, the UI's there, and everything's ready to go. And I think we can pump this out really quickly.
All right.
So do it.
Yep. Let's see.
So if you go to chat, first things first, we want to make, so let's just take a look at what we've got here, right?
Yep.
Regular index file. I've got some static messages over there being rendered.
Yep.
Right. You don't need to worry about any of the styling.
Yep.
And then we've got a form, which is posting, obviously through the same route.
Yep. Okay,
and with the message as an input. So we should just do regular remix stuff, right? This is a joke. So, and this really shows just how amazing remix is, how fast we can code the live chat.
Totally.
Okay? So
what should we start with?
First things first, I actually think that we don't have a name on the input component.
Okay.
I don't actually have a name there. So let's name that as maybe message.
Cool. Okay.
Nice. Now let's make an action.
Now we're really going to see if I know
Here
remix.
we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Nice. And now let's just quickly do the update. Let's add it to the database. So we're using Prisma. Let's quickly make a model. So if you go to the Prisma schema. Nice. And let's just call this message as well, model message. And you really don't need a lot. Let's have the ID. And let's just have the message itself. Good one.
All right. And then you said the message, and that should just be a string as well.
That's it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, let's keep it super simple.
Cool.
Okay. That's it. Now let's create the migration file. So it's npx prisma migrate dev. And this is going to generate the migration files for us.
Cool. We'll just say message model. All right.
We're building a full stack app right now.
This
okay, Brooks?
Beautiful.
This is legit.
Beautiful.
No more jokes.
All right. So am I just pulling this in at this point?
Pull the DB. Let's do it.
Cool. And then message. Let's see if I know my Prisma well. Create.
Good one.
Is it? Yeah, it's data.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we'll just be passing that along. Of course, we need to get that right.
How do we get that?
All right. Yeah, you're really quizzing me. All right. What is it? Form data.
I'll help you. Don't worry.
Oh, wait.
I'll hold your hand.
Request dot form data, I think. Yeah.
Good one.
And then form
Yeah, exactly.
data get message. I think that's right,
Good one.
right? Const message.
That's it.
Okay, cool. We probably should validate this, right? I guess we can just say
Yeah.
if no message for now, or probably should make sure the type of.
That's good too. Big fan of Zod.
Yeah, I was
like
about to
this.
say, I mean, yeah, as this gets complicated.
Remix validated form as well is brilliant. Conform. There's some great options out there for sure.
There we go.
There you go. It's your fault.
All right.
Nice. And then let's send the message itself.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Why is that unhappy though? Message.
Why is it? Let's see.
File is not it. What did I do?
Okay. Oh, and you need and not equal to string. That's just
Thanks. Yep.
I
actually studied math in college, and yet I still mess this stuff up all the time. So
yeah, logic is crazy.
I think we still got it wrong.
Oh, it's all. It is all.
Okay. No, we both are wrong in our own unique ways. So
there we go.
Awesome. Okay.
And then for now, let's just return null because loaders and actions need to return data, and null is just going to be fine for now.
Cool.
So we're creating it. Now we actually need to get the latest messages. So instead of using our static data, let's actually make a loader to get all of the messages as well, right?
Sure.
Oh, and you need to export the first one as well, the action. I didn't see that.
Oh, thanks.
Good catch.
Yeah, this is why we have linting. It really does help catch things. Cool. Nice. So we want loader function args.
Perfect. And let's just get the get all the messages, right?
Cool. So wait, oh man, see, I always forget. I probably should just at this point set up like little scripts and whatnot that will automatically create scaffold this stuff for me, but
yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. All right, so db.message and then
db
we're going to
message find all.
Find all.
Find many. Find many, I think it's called.
That seems right.
That's the one. Cool. And then that's it. That's all you need. And now let's return. That's it. Now let's just return it. Nice.
Cool. Okay.
One thing I'm thinking about is we want to
Sure.
make sure that the chats actually come up in the same order every time.
Okay.
So maybe let's sort it by the creation date.
Is
So
it
is it sort or order,
order by?
order by,
Oh, you know what?
and then
I
it's
think we.
inserted that. Oh, we didn't do inserted
Yeah,
that,
that's
did
okay.
we? Uh,
Another one.
we can do that.
Do we just like create it out? Is that fine? Just to copy this
Yeah,
guy?
we can do that.
Okay, cool.
That's totally good.
All right, we gotta run this one more time. Oh,
Another
I mean, that's
migration.
fine. Okay, so fix. Oh, she's mistake. There we go.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All right.
Honestly,
Oh,
give
you
you
know.
my time of day and you treat me so badly.
Well, what you gonna
Okay,
do?
now let's see. Create it out.
Do I?
And then I
Is
always
this like
forget if it's
true?
ascending or descending.
Oh, right.
So it's, yeah. Do we want to do the earliest one first?
I think so.
So we want to do small then bigger. So it's ascending.
Is
That's how I
it?
see
Oh
it
my gosh!
always, like
See, I
a
spelled that
ladder.
wrong. Yeah. Okay. Sounds right. All right. Cool.
And we're returning that. Now let's get it. Use loads of data.
Yep.
Nice. Send them the loader. I think
this
there's very
should just-
few frameworks out there where you can create a fully fledged chat app in minutes.
Yeah.
Minutes. This is just
It's pretty
testament
cool.
to how
Yeah.
insane Remix is.
And I also
Insane.
love that,
Blows
like,
my mind every time.
yeah, I mean, what did we? Sorry, just to go back here. It's like, okay, we are using a library. We're using this for sure. Like that's a little bit abstracted from us.
Sure.
But like, what is even this? Is it too complicated or is it pretty easy? I've never like looked into the depths of this thing.
So there are a few edge cases that he covers, but at the end of the day, what it's doing is it's setting the same headers that you would need for this that the docs, the MDN docs give us, right?
Yeah. Oh, here, like,
Right.
is it in here?
Let's see.
I don't know this code base that well, but okay, cool. So yeah, he's like creates a readable stream, all this kind of stuff. So there's a little bit, but it's still not like this isn't that complicated that you can't.
If you missed out that whole section with the abort controller, you wouldn't really be that far off.
Okay,
all you would
that
need
makes
to do is
sense.
still set the headers. It's the last bits of the end that really matter, and those last few lines from 63 onwards, yeah, that's it.
That makes sense.
This
Okay,
all this
cool.
other stuff
Cool.
really helps out, and yes, it's great, and that's why you should use this package.
Yeah,
Everything we're doing is web native style, and
that's perfect.
Beautiful.
And that's not too dissimilar from like how Remix is giving you like when you use loader data and all those kind of things. Like it automatically is setting up things like your abort controller because it's like this is just something you do need to do every time. So yeah, you can try and create all this stuff yourself, but at that point you're just creating your own framework. So like there's somewhere where you do have to draw the line of like how much am I just gonna
of course.
So okay, I love it. That makes sense. All right, so let me get back to what we were doing since I was distracted.
Yes, we've got the messages, and now we're going to render them. Let's render them. So
cool. And then what do we have? We have a message in these, I think. Oh wait, yeah. And then looks like you've got this already set up for me, which is nice. So in here, I should just be able to pass message.
And then it's going to need a key as well, and we can just
course,
attach the ID for that, right?
Yes, that's a good idea. That's what IDs are for. So okay.
Nice.
Cool. So
now refresh, there's nothing there.
Yep.
Now let's see if the action works. See if you screwed up.
Nice. Probably would be good to.
Okay, does it clear it for you?
Yeah.
But that's fine for now. Okay, so we've got it. And when you add new ones, they're coming up. Awesome. But again, when we want to do split screen and we want to make it live. So let's make it live. We don't have messages there. Let's do this. It'll take us literally a minute. Let's go. Yeah, that's right. Let's go back. Now remember, there are a few parts. We need the stream, the event stream. So let's make a new stream file in the same path.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. We got this.
It's right here. So we're going to do stream.tsx.
Good. And remember, it's a loader because service and events. Good.
Cool.
And then create event stream was what we had, right?
Nice.
Good. With a request.
Yeah. I think that's right. Something seems a little bit unhappy though.
Just the colon over there instead of the comma.
Thanks. Cool.
Good one. And we need to return that.
Oh yeah. So Actually, in
Well,
this
we
case,
don't really have brands here. We can just call this chat for now.
okay,
But
that makes
obviously, if you
sense.
wanted different chat rooms, it would be that easy. You would just have to switch this out for the
Right.
start of the chat room.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had like chat one or chat two, or yeah, okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Exactly.
So that's just gonna be
Now let's
that.
return that as well.
Let's get this. Oh
Get
no,
that
sorry,
imported.
I'm struggling on this one. There we go. Perfect.
You got this. It's okay. There's no rush.
All right. So we got create event stream. So that. So now there's that stream loading. Okay, cool. And the
So let's
action, is that what
return
we
that as
set up?
well. We still need
Okay.
to return it. Okay, so we've got this stream now that's sending messages out to this topic, if you want to call it, called for that. Okay, good. Now in the action, after we do our changes, we need to emit to that. So emit, and to the same chat. Great.
Cool.
Now instead of using use loader data, we're going to use live loader.
Cool.
And call me crazy, but that's everything you need.
That's wild. Okay, yeah, that's pretty easy.
Let's check if it actually works though. Let's see. So refresh the pages first.
Yeah,
Make sure
I
that
never trust that.
we're hooked in. And then you make changes. Did this work?
Cross our fingers.
Please.
Nice.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
that's awesome.
Oh,
That's so cool.
great. And live chat now. And remember, this is server side. So this isn't just on dev. This actually works in production.
Yeah.
And I do think you need to make sure that your hosting provider actually allows this, because streaming is supported by every provider.
That makes sense.
I know that Fly, for example, disconnect open connections over 20 seconds. So what you need to do is you need to send a ping message every 20 seconds, just to make sure that all the clients are still connected. But other than a few nitty-gritty details, this should just work. Web fundamentals, live chat, literally done in minutes. And we could have started off with this, but I think it's even nicer to show how easy it is to create a live chat than implementing something else.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's everything I've got to show you. Hopefully I'll be able to open source this. Maybe I'll open source the abstraction itself to show this project I can open source. My details are github.com/Moishi Netzer. Do you want to type that out maybe somewhere?
What was it? Moishi?
Moishin, one word, Moishinet, without the hyphen, Zer. Zer. And that's me. And the same thing goes for X or Twitter. Same handle everywhere.
Cool.
And as well, my email address should be there. It's hey@moishi.dev, or that should just be it. So,
and I'll definitely put
my
those
details
in
the at the bottom.
description.
In the description.
Cool.
And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was great. I do have one quick question actually, as we talk about this, and I'll stop sharing at this point just because I think we've shared what we want to. So, okay, so my only question with this is like, this is awesome and this works really well. And how does this differ from like WebSockets, and when would I maybe want to reach for WebSockets versus server sent events? Yeah, do you have many opinions or advice on that?
So it's definitely a case of understanding the differences between them. So server sent events by nature and by name are server sent events. It's always going to be the server that's sending out these messages, and it's never going to be the user sending the messages to the server, which is where WebSockets come in super handy, because WebSockets are bidirectional, where server-send events are unidirectional.
Okay.
Right? We're being a little bit sneaky because we're basically saying it's both, because we're pushing to the server and the server's emitting and then it sends to all the clients.
Yes.
But ultimately it's unidirectional. But I always lean towards server-send events. One, because it's native web stuff. Two, because it's super simple to implement in Remix just by having another route there. And it's just in general faster to implement and much easier to pass around. You don't need to create an external server. You don't need to worry about reconnection, automatic reconnection. Everything I'm saying here is listed on the MDN docs, which you can check out. And server-send events are not to be taken as an underdog. They're to be taken very seriously. And they definitely open up a lot of new paths. I think it's definitely worth mentioning. There are some other solutions out there. For example, is it called Party? What's it called?
I think PartyKit is what you're thinking about, right?
PartyKit, which is a new one, which I believe is WebSocket based, but that looks very interesting. And there's lots of different solutions out there. But I'm a big fan of server-send events. They do have PartyKit do have a Remix integration. Very cool tech. But then again, if you want to roll your own live data, service and events are definitely the way to go. You don't need to install, you don't need to get crazy. It's super simple to implement. And it's fun because you learn more about the web, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. And then if someone did want to get started with WebSockets, let's see. Okay, so MDN also does
And
have some good
again,
docs there, it
MDN,
seems like, and some good guides.
exactly,
But you're right, there is like
exactly. It's
it's a little
more
bit more involved
extensive
probably.
to build your own server and server
That makes
application.
sense. Yeah.
It is a bit more involved, but also very viable solution.
Cool. Cool. Honestly, so the way you were just describing server sent events, it almost sounded like it's kind of the idea of like Redux and that like single source of truth kind of flowing down. So I like that in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that like that does map well to how like yeah my mind kind of thinks about you know the framework that I'm used to. But I definitely get what you're saying of like,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like yeah like PartyKit does a really good job of handling the like that yeah bi-directional kind of
Mm-hmm.
implementation you need, but makes sense that there's just a lot more setup when you're doing that. So I love yeah how simple this is, and so if you're reaching for maybe something fun or
For
something quick
sure.
or whatever, like this seems like a really
For
nice one
sure.
to go
This
for.
abstraction can be a bit mind-boggling, and I could see that,
Sure.
when you first try to get to grips with it. Ultimately, what I've done with you right now is we've built an abstraction around it. You can come up with any other kind of abstraction. I just found it very helpful just to have these rules where you create the stream that returns the event source, you hook into it, and that's it. But then again, you can roll this however you like. It's ultimately just a loader that sends out the event source, and you can come up with any kind of abstraction you like. Um, for sure.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Moshi. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Brex, always a pleasure. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. And hopefully we'll get to meet each other again.
Sounds good. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. See you soon.